you can't invest in an opportunity without making sure the investment and the return on your investment's there. You can get a great location and great condition, but if it's not going to cash flow, you're going to be in trouble.
All right, Susan and David Kassen here, Kassen Realty team. We're back. We're here to talk about one of our favorite subjects, investing, real estate investing.
Yep. And I'm David Kassen, if you haven't noticed by now, her husband. Investing.
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing it for, how long have we been doing it now?
Probably 12 years, about 12.
Yeah, 12 years. One of the primary reasons we got into real estate. So we know a thing or two about it. We've learned a lot.
Right.
But today we're going to share with you what are the top 3 things to look for if you're considering getting out there and dipping your toe into the investment world. We're going to share with you today the top 3 things in investing, the things that we've learned, and try to make you successful.
And what we look for ourselves and for our investor clients.
Yeah, so let's get into it. First, I'd kind of just say, one, the overall climate right now for investing in single family rentals, it's pretty tough. There's like kind of a trifecta going on right now. Interest rates are high. You've got rents that have kind of settled in. And then you've also got houses that have appreciated. So it does make it a little bit challenging right now. But if you're patient and you can look for good opportunities, there's still wins to be had when it comes to investing in single family rentals. Yeah, there's deals out there. So the things we want to share today is what are those 3 things? So I'm going to kind of jump into that and talk to you about that. First, the main principle of real estate, no rocket science here. Location, 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 right? It is kind of sometimes obvious, but you got to dig deeper into the location and what specifically are we looking for here. One, you want to look at areas where there do seem to be other renters in the area, right? You know, when you go down to somewhere like a Highland Park, you know, not quite as many renters there, a lot of buyers. So you want to go to the areas where it attracts renters. What we're seeing in areas that we like to look at now is areas with growth opportunities for the appreciation of the house or also growth in the rents. You know, so maybe you're starting at a lower level right now, but those rents are going to grow over time. Back to being patient there a little bit. And so for us, those areas are the kind of more the outer bands. So, you know, the Princetons of the world is an interesting area. Sherman, obviously the growth that's going on up there, and that's talked about quite a bit. You know, those are some good areas. So the northern, those bands out there where you're getting some newer construction as well, and I'll talk about that here in a minute, but those are good. Another interesting area that we have rental properties in is Plano. We like Plano a lot because one, it's still got such a great school district. It's an attraction for families. Tax rates in Plano are one of the lowest in the area. So
and there's a lot of businesses there. And so that attracts a lot of mobility, a lot of people that maybe are only going to be there for a year or two.
Yeah. So lots of good options out there, but look for growth, again, locations with growth opportunities in the rents and potential appreciation. So many times those are the newer areas in the outer bands of the Metroplex. Okay, so let's move on. Second one is condition. Okay, so the condition of the property. This one, again, there's some basics here around this that you want to pay attention to. Nobody wants to get in. One of the most, I think, mistaken things when you're doing an investment is taking into account for what the expenses are associated with operating a house. Nobody wants to get into a house where all of a sudden they're going to have to dump a ton of money into it as an investment. So the more you can get ahead of that, the better it is for your investment over time. And therefore, you want to focus on the bigger ticket items, right? Those items that are mechanical systems, electrical, the ones that will cost you a lot when you need to repair them. So if you can eye a condition on a house that has a newer roof, the plumbing underneath. Now, a lot of the outer bands, they're using PVC for their sewer lines. So it's not as much of an issue for, you know, like cast iron pipes underneath that have corroded. So don't have to worry about that one as much. Electrical panels, similar thing. Most of the electrical panels in the outer areas are up to code and not fire hazards, things like that. And then, of course, the HVACs. and your air conditioning and your
Right.
heating. Those are kind of the
Yeah.
big items you want to look for. And again, some of these three things I joke because one of my old bosses used to use this analogy, and these three things are like kind of a three-legged stool. They go hand in hand. So condition and location really go hand in hand. If you can go to the outer bands, then you're getting a newer house, and therefore you may be
Right.
able to kill two birds with one stone. Get a newer house where the condition is in good shape. Not all the time the newest houses are the best, but a lot of times you're not going to have to sink as much money
Right
into
away.
the newer.
Right away.
Yeah, right
You
away.
You might have more time to plan for
Right.
it for the future. Maybe that'll be 7 years down the road or 10 years down the road or something like that.
Yeah. So like that's what we were talking about, the sewer lines, they're already going to be redone in a newer area. So those two can kind of go hand in hand, and you can but look for the condition, look for those big ticket items. So number 3 is your financial metrics. And maybe the number one thing, you can't invest in an opportunity without making sure the investment and the return on your investment's there. The first two things really don't matter. You can get a great location, a great condition, but if it's not going to cash flow, then you're going to be in trouble. So here's the 3 metrics that I look at when we're talking about the financials. You want to look at the cash on cash return. So that's your profit after your rent, after all your expenses, and after, if you have a mortgage on the house, after the debt that you're going to pay on that. That's your cash on cash return. Right now, I would say you got to be really patient, because how I let off with the environment, we tell all of our investors right now, if you can break even with your cash flow right now,
Or
you're
just
actually
like a little
doing,
bit,
or
like
maybe a
little
little,
bit more.
yep, a little bit of positive cash flow. You're actually probably doing pretty good in this environment. Again, remember what I said, over time, the rents are going to appreciate.
Mhm.
And so you're going to have positive cash flow. You're going to be paying down your debt. So you're going to be in a better spot over time. So again, it's location, it's your property condition, and then the financial metrics. Those are the keys, and we'll set you up for success.
Yeah. We'd love to help you. We love being investors, and we feel like it's a really good way to kind of have some extra cash flow and
Passive income.
Passive
Yep.
income. I think we've talked about this before, but the main reason that I got into real estate 16 years ago was because one of the things that I did want to do is invest. And when you were working in your corporate job, and we did make a lot of investments, and then I would say that those investments are one of the reasons why you were able to pretty much retire early.
Yeah.
From your corporate job. We've been there, we've done that, we've learned a lot along the way, and we feel like that's helped us in helping our
Yeah, I mean, I
clients.
think it differentiates us a little bit, right? I mean, we're selling, single family homes all day long, with our clients, but we've got another dimension, and the fact that we've done that and that we've invested in it and we've kind of lived all this ourselves, we know what to look out for, and can really, that's kind of our value prop to make you more successful, so that you can learn from the things that we've already experienced.
For sure. We do not want to gatekeep on this. Like, we want everybody to be able to jump in the game if they want to.
Yeah.